Here we have another AU, another set of brakes and rotors. This is a good guide for changing brakes and brake rotors for basically any car. First of all, I'm going to do the front. I used to always hate jacking the front of cars up, but I'll show you. So underneath here, we've got this nice solid kind of cross member for the steering and also engine mounts, I'm assuming. So we're gonna go off the back side of that. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to safely do it, in my opinion. You can see I've got it on this cross member. I'm gonna jack it up a tiny bit, take some of the weight off these tires, but leave them on the ground. Got it? Crack these bolts behind here without the tire spinning. Before we do that, so we don't forget, we want to chock these back wheels with bricks. Just in case. I'll just grab this. Throw it through. No, I'm joking. Just chuck it behind the back wheel, just in case. Better safe than sorry. Alright, now let's just loosen these bolts off, both tires, and then we'll jack it up until we see there's enough room to come around and slip these under both sides. So let's get stuck into that. So we're just going to loosen them off here like this. Loosen them off a bit. You have to get a foot involved. Always rather use my foot than break my back if they're too tight. Not too bad on this one. Must have melted them off. Alright, so they're all loose. And we'll go do it on the other side. So this one didn't have the best brakes because it was parked up for a while. We got this off a 7-year-old. I think that's my first ever blooper, but probably more to come. So we got this off a 7-year-old that stopped driving it, and obviously the brakes were a bit rusty, but after driving it for a bit, it's come good. But the ute out there has been parked up since 2014, and we got it with Vic plates, and we only paid $950 for it. So $950 for 170,000 kilometer 2002 AU ute, probably worth about $5 grand. We've got all the SA plates and rego on it now, so it just needs brakes. And these brakes were meant to go on the ute, but we're gonna use them because the insurance company's inspecting the car. Allegedly, all this is allegedly, just in case the insurance company is a fan of the channel. Oh, and about that, thanks for coming back and watching videos if you're a subscriber. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I do general maintenance and also just random stuff. I'm also open to video suggestions, whether it be on cars or metal fabrication or places you want to see in South Australia, anything like that. Throw us some suggestions and we'll have a think about a future video. Alright, so we got these loosened, those loosened, these stands. There's a couple little V's, and that lets you know where these stands go. Okay, so now I'm going up with this. Just take it easy, We've got the handbrake and the brick at the back. Gonna take this easy. Make sure you're right in the middle of your disc on the jack. And make sure you're centered with the vehicle. So now that we got it up a little bit, we can see, have a look around, and then keep going if it's safe. All right, we've got lift. Now we just need to keep checking as you go up. Make sure everything's seated nicely. And then once we get this up, we're gonna drop it onto these jack stands nice and slowly. You can see this side is gonna fit, by the looks of it, perfectly. See, there's a little gap here. And boom, this one's fitted nicely too. Now we're gonna come back around. I'm gonna drop it real slow, nice and slow. All right, then just have a look, make sure it's centered on the stands, and that looks fine to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all the weight on the stands now, and we're gonna just keep, and see the jacks coming off. We're gonna just apply a little bit of pressure. See, I didn't have it completely straight, but 3 points of contact, generally you're pretty good. So we're just going to put the tiniest bit of pressure on that, nothing major, just in case. Safety, right? So now that's all secure up there. They don't actually look too bad, considering I thought these were going to be no good. I don't know, we'll have a look at the pads and stuff and we'll see how they are. Alright, once you've got those cracked, and maybe your elbow as well, we'll just socket them off. You could clean them up or heat them up or do whatever, or you could just be a man and destroy your elbow. Use one of these, it's not too difficult. You can check ball joints and stuff, which they all look pretty okay. You can buy CNC like white lithium spray or some sort of spray to rejuvenate the rubbers a bit. So here you have the 15mm bolts. Have this ready. 2, we got it. Alright, so now have this handy. This should slip right off the rotor. Now we just got it sitting on our trusty thing there. I will quickly show you where these bolts are. So we've got the caliper here. And you can see we've got 1, 2 bolts holding the whole caliper in. So I just do 2 bolts. Alright, brake caliper holder achieved. Might need a bigger one. Brake caliper holder. A bit better, but still could be higher. Got it. Got it. I use these knee pads, which were a great investment. I played a lot of sport growing up and destroyed my knees pretty early, but I don't think even Iron Man could kneel on concrete floors all day and have good knees after 27 years or whatever. I hope it's recording. Guess it doesn't matter, you watched the first one. Okay, so here we have the brake pads inside the caliper. These actually just slip into these little grooves here, and they should just push out. And then take them out from the inside. As you can see, these brakes are great, so they should come in handy on the ute. They fit. Push the other one out with this little gap. Alright, and out they come. Simple as that. These are the pistons that I was talking about. Sometimes we'll have to put a clamp over this any way possible to clamp these back in. That gives us the room. If our new rotors and our new pads are thicker, obviously we're going to need more room, but as you can see, these are filthy, so they'll need a good clean. Maybe we'll see. This is good, especially if you're putting new rotors on it. Definitely don't breathe this stuff in. This is after a clean. I gave it a good brush and then I gave it a squirt down with the hose, and then another little brush, and then boiling water, or not boiling. I boiled the kettle, let it cool down a bit, and then tipped it over to get all the rest of the stuck bits and pieces. It's a lot better now. Rotors on. New brake pads are going in. I just gave them a quick rub on the floor to get any coating off. And I've got one of the pads in there, and I'm using that and the clamps to squeeze the pistons closed. That way we can fit the new rotor and the new pads in, no worries. I just put a couple lugs on here to hold the rotor in place, and then you slip it on like that. We should be able to find the bolts in the back, the bolt holes in the back. So there we have it, guys. New rotors and new brake pad. Now we just do those back up and reverse the process, drop it down, and we'll get on to the back ones. I'll do that in part 2. So stay tuned for part 2. Any questions, chuck them in the comments. So that's us signing off tonight. Like, subscribe, check out our other videos on the AUs. And yeah, have a good one till next time.